And I'm taking a walk through the town. Number one, to get away from my parents who are having a hissy fit right now over the crazy psycho talk. Number two, I'm taking a walk through the town to demonstrate to you that this is the most economic, this is the most value proposition on any highway system on planet Earth you're gonna get. Welcome to the town of Didsbury, Alberta. So you'll see there's a road here that goes over the Canadian Pacific Railway, and if the train comes through and stops in town for an hour, it means that all of the residents of this town are not being properly serviced, because I live on this west side of the track, but the hospital is on the east side. That means if I'm on the west side of this town, I don't have easy access to the hospital if the train's sitting here for over an hour. Here in the small town of Didsbury, Alberta, which is located just 10-minute drive to the south of the old Didsbury Airport, where a realistic budget could build it into an international airport, in this local community, there is an artisan in this shop. This artisan is a stained glass maker, and what he can offer is classes to children. He does this on his spare time in the town, and he teaches them to make stained glass windows. And it's quite a fantastic process, because that man in that building was my first employer. Me and my brother were paid with cash under table. We were paid with cash under table to work for this man, and we were paid to remove the rough surfaces over the top of microchip boards, because he would cut the microchip boards into a Christmas tree, and since they're green, he'd put lights through it. You hear that sound? That is the value proposition coming. Our train network in Alberta. Welcome to Alberta, Elon Musk. Welcome to Texas North. So I'm walking down Main Street in Didsbury, Alberta right now, demonstrating to people where all of the economic value and opportunity exists in this town. Because everyone in this small little hamlet town, their number one concern is money. Everyone is going under. That artisan down the street that I just told you about with the stained glass, that man was going into retirement this year, but his business is still open and running. Probably because he looked at the books and was like, holy shit, I can't balance this unless I keep working. Here comes the value proposition. Ready for this, Elon Musk and Disney? This is the value proposition of Didsbury, Alberta. Choo-choo! Here it comes. The Canadian Pacific Railway! Woo! So I'm gonna let the train pass because this is what they do in the town of Didsbury. Every day and every night at like 11 o'clock at night, they're blasting the train horn and it keeps everyone up at night. It's ridiculous. So we'll sit here for a second, let the train pass, or I'm not gonna be able to talk because they'll just keep honking. Welcome to the liquidation of Canada. See? Exactly what I'm talking about. This guy's about to stop here. Why is that an issue? Why is that an issue that he stopped? It means this road is now permanently cut off from half of the town for as long as this guy sits here. So you'll see the guy in the car, he's sitting here, burning more fuel. Hello, Elizabeth May. He's just sitting here burning fuel, and he may be sitting there for half an hour up to 40 minutes burning fuel, waiting for this guy to pass. But this guy that's passing is the value proposition to the Disneyland park, and I'll tell you why. Starting in just over a week from now, in Western Canada, Vancouver, starting 1 week from now in Canada, they're about to start the path of the Holiday Train Express. This is one of the coolest things that kids can possibly do in our country. This empty parking lot that sits here in the town of Didsbury, right next to the train station, will be filled with families and children. And the train will stop right here along the road. It will open one of the door cars on the side of the rail car. And inside of this rail car is a rock band of musicians. And they will sit here in this empty parking lot for an hour and a half and give the small town of Didsbury, Alberta, a rock concert for the children. The problem is, it's just another government program, because they don't sell tickets, they don't make money or profit or revenue. It's funded by the taxpayer because it is another feel-good thing for the community. Welcome to communism. This is how communists think. And if you want to negotiate with communists, you must include 5% of the budget. The 5% needs to be handouts. I don't know how much it costs for this entire operational exhibit to display, because it will spend over a month traveling out from BC into Alberta. It'll travel down this stretch of rail from Red Deer. From here, it'll travel down into Calgary and through the communities of Okotoks and eventually down into Lethbridge, where you have one of the most amazing scenic views of this train and rail car system over the world's largest trestle bridge in Lethbridge, Alberta. This piece of infrastructure in Lethbridge, Alberta is monumentally massive. Welcome to Texas North, Elon Musk. So the train will come down this rail and it'll park here for an hour and a half and give a rock concert performance for the children. But it costs taxpayer money and it delivers nothing of revenue. Therefore, in our budget, the Disney Party is proposing that the entire funding for the 2025 Holiday Express be reimbursed to the taxpayer, and that will be included in the handout budget. What Disney can offer in the future, if they built an airport 10 minutes to the north and hotels to support the area, is that you can bring families with children down to these small hamlet towns, where this train system will pass through all of these towns, and every single night there is a different rock performance in a different town. And it happens during the winter time. Why is that important? Why would that be important that it happens during the winter time? It's important because everything about the Canada Disneyland North project is going to be Frozen themed. We're building Frozen themed ski resorts. Why would we do that, Canadians? Well, goddamn, can you do math? Frozen is a $14 billion intellectual property. You slap a Elsa sticker on the side of this rail car, and this rail car triples in value overnight because you put fucking Elsa on the side. So I'm going to continue my journey through the town here to show you some of the wonderful little stores that we have. There is the Ooh La La Boutique. There's all kinds of wonderful stores and businesses, and the reason that Didsbury is a lucrative spot to build in and around is because we've hosted like 6 different Hollywood films here. We've had Wynonna Earp, we've had Under the Banner of Heaven filmed here, we've had episodes of Fargo filmed there out at the bar, and I can pick out from these movies where the actual buildings are and what they are, because when they come in they'll put over fake signs to make it look like an American town, but they're producing American movies up here. My brother's car was featured on this road. My brother's vehicle was featured in a Hollywood movie called The Order. This Hollywood blockbuster movie came up to the town of Didsbury, Alberta, and they sat on this street for 2 weeks and filmed. And my father's car was in the movie too. So the value proposition the town of Didsbury was sold by Hollywood is that by filming movies here, we're going to bolster our economy. They've been filming movies here for 12 years, and the economy hasn't grown. It's because the Hollywood actors from, God forbid, America will come up for a week and they'll spend a week's worth of money in restaurants and hotels, and then they go back. The movie's done, finished. So they come down here. I'm going to show you something. This right here. What does that say right there? Home of the original Wyoming Floats and Beasties Wildcat Chills. Wyoming. This sign was put on the side of a Canadian building for an American movie to convince people that this building was in America. There was an Indian man shot in this parking lot during the film shoot. That was the scene. Now I'll find the specific episodes of Fargo that I'm referring to. That train station down the road that I just showed you is where they did filming for Wynonna Earp. So if you wanted to build a film industry in and around the area, why don't you move your actors up here so that you're not transporting them for 1 week of filming, but they could be here filming movies in the Rockies all day and night, but producing for our economy. You see that right there? That building in front of us is the library, and connected to it is the offices for the town of Didsbury, Alberta. This building was used as the bank for the scene in Fargo. When they robbed, nope, sorry, that's a different building down there. This was the police headquarters for, not Fargo, The Order. The Order was a movie that was about radical white supremacist group in America in the 80s that robbed banks, and this was the police headquarters for that film shoot, and there was a giant American flag that was placed on the top of this building in a Canadian town. There's also a music school in town right here. There's a teacher who can teach music lessons to children. There's small bars all in and around this area. Welcome to Texas North, Elon Musk. This is the liquidation of Canada. So we're going to come back over here to Main Street and continue on a tour through the town of Value Proposition. There's all these wonderful little artisan shops right in here. Everything that they make is handmade. There's restaurants and pubs right along here. Some of these buildings are extremely historic. They're over 100 years old. Welcome, Elon Musk, to Texas North. We're taking a tour right now through the town of Didsbury, Alberta, because Alberta's about to liquidate everything we have to join America. So we'll come back over to Main Street. There's the rail track. That building that represents the station platform for the Pacific Railway. This building is over 100 years old. It's a historic site. This building in the town of Didsbury, Alberta is over 100 years old. It's a historic site. And it has a really interesting and unique feature about it, which you'll notice if I come over here. You see where that giant pillar is in the middle with the lights on it? That pillar represented the servicing the other side of the track. What does that mean? We're looking at the station platform on the opposite side of the road from where the rail actually sits. This rail line that goes through the town of Didsbury, Alberta, the station platform has been turned 180 degrees around. They lifted this entire building off of its platform, and they rotated the entire building 180 degrees around such that the station platform faces Main Street. Why is that important? Look how monumentally massive this stage is up here. You can host like a rock concert, or here's an idea. Here's a Disney level innovation idea. Come over the station platform. You see how much stage there is up here? This is a stage. Disney, if you want stages for performances, you could build in and around this area, and this stage could serve for your Fantasmic display right here, because these doors will allow you access into the building where, you know, the mascot costumes are and the employers and the back offices. They'll come out through here, through this door, onto the stage and present to the entire town. Because when my father used to run the car show for this small town known as the Didsbury Car Show, he would stand up here on this stage with a microphone and he would direct the festival for the day. They have a really, really cool car show that brings in over 500 vintage vehicles every year to this town, and it happens in May. And they will park their vehicles up and down this entire stretch of road, and all of the citizens in the town will get the entire day to walk up and down this strip looking at the most beautiful American-made vintage cars, because all the amazing vintage cars that were ever produced in the world were made in, God forbid, America. I don't know if I mentioned it, that Canco, that gas station at the end of the street, used to be owned by my father. He was screwed over by taxes and immigrant workers that fucked him over and out of the business. That gas station went under. So God forbid, lest my father make a return on any of his investments in this country. And you know, we got liquor stores. We got like 8 liquor stores in town because it's the only fun thing to do is drink and smoke ourselves to death. Welcome to Texas North, Elon Musk. This building here is the Elks Hall in town, and this building is so cool. This is a historic building too, and all of these along here are pretty historic buildings. If you're just joining the video, we're taking a tour through the small hamlet town of Didsbury, and I'm demonstrating to Elon Musk all of the value proposition that this town holds. So we got a Canada Post here. We just had a massive renovation and expansion of this building, but it cost taxpayer money, and surprise, it produces no revenue to our country because it is used only and exclusively and internally by Canadian citizens. The Canada Post mail system. Welcome to hell. On the other side of the rail tracks over there, that giant building back in the background is a monumentally massive sports arena. They have a hockey rink in there, they have a swimming pool in there, they have all kinds of other things in the area. You can offer hockey games at the hockey rink. I want to show you one of the coolest buildings this town has to offer. While the rest of Eastern Canada has been building out more government programs, Alberta's been building our roads. It is because it's the snow. You see how cracked this pavement is? It is this cracked everywhere along the highway system. It's not well maintained because of the snow. Therefore, the Disney Party of Canada is seeking new innovation and technology that will be developed by Elon Musk to figure out how to build a road that actually survives the winter, so that it doesn't fall apart and we have to keep paving it to service what we already have. So I'm coming down here. Now, we're coming back over to the west side of town. So we're coming down here to the school system. I want to show you something because it's important to the value proposition. Remember what I said about the handout budgets. America, you're not going to get what you want from Canada unless you give us something first that we want. It's a little hard to see, so maybe I'll film a different video in the future in the day. But this building right here represents a school that is over 100 years old. I think it's maybe even closer to 150 at this point. This is one of the very first infrastructure projects that ever took place in our province, right here, this building. And there's a museum that goes through it, but it is not being properly serviced by transit in our province. This building is so cool, and it could offer ridiculously incentivized, structured value proposition to Elon Musk and Disney to build shit out here in and around the area. So we'll come down here to the field. This giant empty field in front of us used to be a big ass school. This used to be the high school. They tore the high school down at some point, years in the past, and they built a brand new high school way on the other side of town. I don't know how many millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of taxpayer money that cost, but it produced nothing of value. It is considered valuable because it's a school that teaches people education, but if we're living in a communist nation of retards with people who are allergic to math, who think it's illegal to conduct business and suggest legitimate business proposals lest we make money. What's the point of educating children if you're not going to invest any of the ideas they create? This is the Ross Ford Elementary School. Why is this an important part of the entire equation? Because there is an exceptionally wealthy businesswoman in our country who would fund this project of ours, because we are expecting from the donation budget, the handout budget, Canada will be expected, this is a policy Canada will expect of America. Canada is expecting $1 million to fund an all-new scholarship program dedicated in the name of Harley A. Dickinson. And when Arlene Dickinson of the Dragon's Den hears that is part of the proposition in the budget for the Disney Party of Canada, do you think one of the richest women in our country is going to vote for economic prosperity or bankruptcy? There's also more stories. There's a lot of stories tied up in that school and that building and that man. So if Americans want to learn why the name Harley A. Dickinson matters, then Americans are going to have to travel up here to learn some shit about us too. Because Walt Disney had built the park originally as a monument to America. Why on God's green earth is there a Hall of Presidents in the, God forbid, American-based theme park? It's because it was all about teaching the history of America. If Disneyland was originally constructed to teach the history of America, then I propose that this new Epcot, Alberta project of mine will be teaching Americans and the rest of the world who travel here the history of our country. Because we don't have a hall of prime ministers like you have a hall of presidents down there. So I'm taking you over to some more infrastructure. Welcome to the liquidation of Canada, Elon Musk. Welcome to Texas North. There's another school over there, the middle school. And there's roads that lead out into the mountains over here. And out into the fields in the township road. So right now, we're just taking a tour through the town of Didsbury, and I'm pointing out all of the important locations that have value proposition that may attract American investment up here. Because Canada's not investing on building anything right now, but more government programs. So we're taking a tour through the small town of Didsbury, Alberta right now, which is located just 10 minutes to the south of the old Didsbury Airport and 1 hour to the north of Calgary. And I'm taking you to some more infrastructure projects to show you what you could get for a discounted bargain, because none of this shit's going to be worth anything 10 years from now unless something changes with our government. It's probably too faint to hear in the background, but the train is still honking. That train that passed us 20 minutes ago is down the track still honking. Choo choo. There's a giant ass field out here in the middle of freaking nowhere. It's kind of hard to see because we're in the dark, so I'll probably do some more filming for later videos during the day. But this field is monumentally massive. You could build a sports stadium here. You could build a baseball diamond. You could build anything. Look at all this available land. It's available. We're selling Canada. This is the liquidation of Canada, boys, and you better buckle up your bootstraps, because if the Disney party policy doesn't get implemented, I want to hear one damn idea that's going to fix the equation. I'm open to ideas, but Canadians don't want to give me any ideas. They want to tell me to shut up and go get a job. Remember when I pointed out in my earlier video that there are American businesses here too that are suffering? What the fuck is that? It's an A&W. It just opened up. And it's going to go bankrupt in a couple years or less, or 12 months or less, if we don't do shit in this country. That A&W represents business loss for America if Canada goes under. That Subway, I'm pretty sure Subway's an American corporation too. Remember when I said there was a Dairy Queen here too? Down the road is the Dairy Queen over there. We have an all-new gas station. This just opened up 2 months ago. It's brand fucking new. But, here's the problem. It's a Petro-Canada. Why is that a problem? It means we're internally circulating revenue of Canadian businesses amongst ourselves, but not bringing anything new in. This stretch of road goes down and across the rail track over there, and you can take this stretch of road and develop it out into the township roads. Why would you want to do that? Because you can take the township roads from there, you can take them 1 hour to the south, and that will connect you to the location of the dig site I've marked on the map. I can still hear the train honking. I don't know if Dollarama is American or Canadian. I genuinely don't. I'll Google that later. But we got a Dollarama here too. I think it's Canadian, so I guess that doesn't impact America. But you see all this new infrastructure that's been built up in here? We have massive fields right over here to build out all sorts of shit in here. Infrastructure projects up in Canada using money and investment from Disney and Elon. There's a Save On Foods here. There's a Pet Value store over there. Most of these buildings sat empty for years. They only recently got filled in the last 2 months, basically. The gas station opened up 2 months ago. The A&W opened up 2 weeks ago. And they're going to go under in less than 2 years. So I'll end the video there. I've now taken you on a round trip tour through the town. I'll do some more filming in the day so you can get a better perspective of stuff, because I am telling you, there is fields and there is land out here. Why are we not developing this shit out? So that is my proposal to Disney, is that they will compensate the taxpayers this year for the entire operational expense of the Holiday Train Express.